Hey sailors, welcome to the crew. I'm Sailor Janda, and this is my Let's Play of Rule the Waves 3 as the United States. We are now at war with Germany. I fully expect that due to the alliances currently in existence in the world, we will soon also be at war with Spain. However, Japan should enter the war on our side, I believe. The military situation is this. Germany has 25 battleships to our 13. However, we do have two more due to be completed within, well, one of them should be completed next month, USS California. USS New Mexico won't be finished for a year and a half. We'll see if she's ready in time to fight in this war or not. The good news is, on average, I would say we probably have these two Michigan class are in reserve. So I would say we have 4 Oklahomas, 4 Arizonas, and call it 3, but about to be 4 Californias ready. So maybe 12 proper battleships. And a lot of these German ships, these are nigh on use. I don't think these count as They count as battleships, but they're pretty bad. So are these, which I'm not sure actually count as battleships. So that eliminates about 1, 2, 4, 7, 9. Call it 12 against 16 in terms of actual first line modern battleships, which is really not too bad for us overall. Not that the battleships are likely to be the decisive force. Now, we are heavily outnumbered in terms of armored cruisers, but as you can see from the total tonnage, ours have quite a bit higher average. We don't have any armored cruisers under 8,000 tons now. And I believe last I checked, they only have 2 over 8,000 tons, which are Stettin and Nuremberg. These we are going to have to worry about. They're pretty formidable. The rest of their armored cruiser fleet is mostly undergunned and or under-armored compared to ours, with the exception of these, which are pretty terrifying as well, actually. But if about 4 out of their armored cruisers concern me, the other 18 do not, so that's fine. They have only 3 light cruisers to our 10. They are building a new class, which should be ready next year-ish. They might be more of a concern, but 2 out of their 3 are at least somewhat dangerous. This one is useless, but we have 10 to their 3, so I'm not worried about it. They have more destroyers than us, but ours do have more tonnage, and we're building 20 new 600-ton destroyers already, which should be done within the year. I have started gunnery and damage control training, but it won't be ready for almost a year. I wasn't sure we would be at war until very recently. Most likely the war will be decided at sea, rather. I'm sorry, that was stupid. Obviously, the war will be decided at sea. What I meant to say was that the war will be decided through cruiser warfare out on the high seas rather than through some battleship engagement off either of our coasts, because I don't really have any way to base my battleships in Northern Europe, nor do they have any way to base their battleships off the East Coast, nor, in fact, do we have any provinces where we actually, or any sea zones where we actually overlap each other in terms of possessions. Now, once Spain joins the war, I expect the main focus of the fighting to be in the Caribbean. We're going to try to grab Puerto Rico and Guantanamo Bay. In the meantime, we're going to probably send a couple of cruisers into the South Pacific and otherwise focus on holding off whatever German raiders they send our way. So, to that end, I am going to shift. The Californias aren't really combat ready yet. I'm going to leave the rest of the battleships on the East Coast for now. We can just shift them down into the Mediterranean if need be. I'm going to activate the Michigans since we are at war. They're just holding down the West Coast. They should be good enough to defeat armored cruisers if they happen to actually fight them. Although armored cruisers can easily run away from them, but oh well. And then I'm going to take probably, let's see here. There are several Pittsburghs in the West Coast. they're pretty much on counter raider duties, I would say. I'm going to take the Memphis class. And, you know, the Olympia class is quite formidable, too. I'm going to take 2 of the Memphis class. And I'm going to move them into the South Pacific. And I'm going to take 2 of the Olympias and set them to raiding duties. Hopefully nothing dreadful will happen to them. Now Spain, well, we'll mention Spain once they do join the war. I think they will, but it shouldn't be. Right, trade protection. Well, the good news is, first of all, I still have all this small pile of useless corvettes that I can put on trade protection. And second of all, we now have a whole pile of destroyers which I can put on trade protection. Oh, immediately a convoy defense. Does this imply that Germany has moved its entire fleet into the Caribbean? That's kind of a wild choice. Maybe they can base out of Spanish bases even if Spain hasn't joined the war yet? Well, let's see what this looks like. Okay, so we have Memphis and Salt Lake City, which I believe are both Memphis class, yeah. And then we have Chicago and Columbia, which are both Chicago class. And there's a convoy, and there is... I'm going to go ahead and accelerate. If these are just armored cruisers in reality, that's one thing. If those are actually battleships, okay. Now that's a Stettin-class armored cruiser, though, which has a... Now this alleges a 5.5-inch belt. I think it said 5 before. This is 10,700 tons. It makes 21 knots. 4 8-inch, 10 6-inch guns. That being said, we have 6 8-inch, 10 6-inch guns. We just have less armor. So I would say if it is 2 Stettin-class ships that we have a fighting chance. In fact, if it's just 2 Stettin-class ships, we should just win, considering we also have these Chicago and Columbia here. Which I'm going to need to get into a formation. It looks like all I see is the 2 Stettin-class ships. I'm happy to fight this battle, honestly. All of my cruisers are refitted with central firing. We shouldn't be significantly... Although I noticed they have a longer gun range than us, which is quite concerning considering we both have 8-inch guns. Okay, and they're immediately turning away. I don't think we can actually... I was going to say I don't think we could... Oh, Captain Reeves here is incompetent. That's nice. But Captain Hull is above average. Great. Yeah, we're doing 22 knots. We actually can maybe catch them. These two can't, but if the armored cruiser could slow them down a little bit, then we could get the light cruisers to come up and help finish them off. Yeah, I don't see any sign of any other German ships, so with a bit of luck, this would be a pretty major victory to win, considering those are their 2 best, most modern armored cruisers. It's just a straight race at this point. The ranges are hard to say. Hold on. The range is 9,600 yards. We're shooting at them. Probably just wasting ammo considering the date, but all it could take is 1 or 2 good hits to slow one of them down. Did Salt Lake City take a hit, or is it just struggling with... Engines are giving trouble? Well, that's unfortunate. The range is down to 7,200 yards, which is still a lot, but okay, we've outrun our scouts by so much that they're no longer with us, but that's fine. Yes. Okay, Memphis on her own cannot fight both of them, but she hopefully won't get too far away from Salt Lake City. What's the range now? 6,100 yards. We are losing speed. They are probably losing speed. Oh, and we've landed our first hits of the battle. Both of us simultaneously. Okay, we are taking more hits than them, but that's to be expected given we're... Okay, we just lost an entire turret. So that's pretty much our whole firepower advantage gone. Ouch. Also, we didn't really have one because we've let them spread us out so much, but there wasn't really much... Oh, for God's sake, it's dark. I mean, unless Salt Lake City can get up into action very quickly, we're just going to lose them. At least one of them, we've really finally slowed them down, too. I think they're only doing 15 knots. But dark is imminent. And Memphis alone can't fight them at close range, really. And we've lost sight of them. Great. I can't possibly guess where they went at this point. Try turning north because they were kind of edging that way during the battle, but if we don't spot them within a couple of moments, they're just gone. Sort of nice to have them running away from us for a change. The first war we fought in the Caribbean was quite the opposite, even if we did get Cuba in the end. Okay. Yeah, we took more damage than we dealt there because Memphis ended up taking 23 hits as we got close to them. But I mean, it wasn't critical except for that turret that we lost. We landed 12 hits on Stettin and 8 on Nuremberg, but yeah, nothing decisive there, unfortunately. Oh, qualifies as a victory for us because they ran away and didn't attack our convoy, though. And the battleship California has been commissioned. Okay, so now I need to check my... Oh, torpedo protection 1. Okay, that's fantastic. We won't have to build a dreadnought without torpedo protection. Enemy fleets dominate the seas around Hawaii? Okay, obviously we need to redistribute... Our ally Japan sends a message that they're not ready to join the war against Germany at this time. Well, they can join when they're ready. We can win the war without them. But we won't forget this betrayal, Japan. 40 years' time. Watch it. It won't even take 40 years. Our Navy's already much bigger than theirs. Watch out, Japan. I won't forget this. Okay, so let's see. Germany has moved 1 armored cruiser off the east coast, apparently. Not worried about that. I mean, it'll be a raider of some sort. They've moved 6 battleships into the Caribbean. Okay. We are going to move... Our 4 Californias aren't really ready, unfortunately, so I'm just going to move the whole rest of our flotilla into the Caribbean with the 3 armored... Call it the 2 good armored cruisers, plus the 4 Olympias, plus all of our 500-ton destroyers. And I'll leave Memphis, Charlotte actually, behind to deal with that armored cruiser that was sitting there, plus Baltimore and Cincinnati, plus the Californias will be there even if they're not really worked up yet. This should be a more than sufficient fleet to deal with. Oh, we have a ton of base cap in the Caribbean, that's fine. This should be more than sufficient to deal with whatever Germany has sent here. Yeah. What else? Oh my god, wait. I'll come right back to that. If that's true, what I just saw there, I don't know how that's even possible, but allegedly, not only does Germany have a battleship in Southeast Asia, but, okay, let me count the reported, what the hell? Okay, Germany has 10 battleships, 25 total, right? 10 in Europe, 6 here, so that leaves 9 unaccounted for. There's 3 in the Indian Ocean for some reason. Call it 6 unaccounted for. 1 is in Southeast Asia, 5 unaccounted for. You know, actually, interestingly enough, for all that there's allegedly 1 in the Central Pacific, that still leaves 4 battleships unaccounted for. Okay, but we're going to have to send some battleships. We're going to have to send a substantial force into the Central Pacific, apparently, because there's a whole German squadron here. And we don't have pretty much any substantial force to oppose them. I hate to use the Michigans, but we're going to have to at least send all of the Pittsburghs that are on the West Coast into the Central Pacific. And, well, it's allegedly 1 battleship. So, you know what? Let's... Yeah. I don't believe I can move the berries because they're all short-ranged. I would like to, but I don't think I can. Let me try. Yeah. So we'll send all we've got on the West Coast over to there. As soon as the Californias have finished working up, I'll send a couple of Oklahomas or Arizonas, maybe just all of the Oklahomas, out to the Pacific to lock that down. Hopefully, maybe we can even win a major battle in the Caribbean while we're waiting, which would certainly free up some forces. Our monthly balance is positive despite everything we're building and doing. Let me give it a month to stabilize, given the war that's on and that. Okay, San Francisco has intercepted a German raider in the Central Pacific. Now, this is our only ship in the Central Pacific, and allegedly there's a whole bloody German squadron here. So we'll see. I mean, if it is just one raider, if it's a light cruiser, we can probably handle it. If it's an armored cruiser, we are going to have trouble, and it's probably an armored cruiser, honestly, but let's see. One ship, 25,000 yards out. Let's just... it can't be one of the Stettins, so it's not one of their better armored cruisers. It's a battleship? Probably not. It's an armored cruiser. Huh. You know, I'm almost kind of inclined to give this one a try. I know it's an armored cruiser, and I've got a light, like, protected cruiser here. We have half as much armor as them, but we're 1,200 tons heavier. They've got 2 7-inch guns, which are bigger than anything we've got, but then only 6 5-inch and 8 2-inch guns. We've got 10 6-inch guns and 8 2-inch guns, so 10 6-inch against 2 7-inch, 6 5-inch. Not a terrible mismatch, and we are faster. If we don't take damage, we could disengage. What's a war without a little bit of risk? Okay, they can fire a little bit first because we're bigger guns, but what I should check is 4-inch belt. What's the alleged penetration capacity? We probably need to get within 4,000 yards, at least within 5,000. That said, we're closing pretty fast, but yeah. Oh, they turn away? Come on, Germany. What kind of cowards are running the high seas fleet these days? Or the Kaiserliche Marine, really, because the high seas fleet is just the part that's in the North Sea. I think we just landed a hit. I kind of went away fast, but we're definitely running them down. We're 3 knots faster, allegedly. The reason this armored cruiser is so terrible is because, well, firstly, because they built it that way, and secondly, because it's one of their oldest classes from... It's not even Freya herself, maybe they decommissioned her, but it's either Veneta, Prince Heinrich, Fürst Bismarck, or Friedrich Karl. It is their smallest class of armored cruiser. Okay, landed a couple hits. It's not a huge... Landed 2 more hits. It's not a huge ship. If we hit it with impunity a few times, it'll really be pretty crippled, probably. We're still further out than that margin I wanted, but we're closing in. There was another hit. Okay. Now we're getting there. 5,600 yards. Closing fast. Hit. She's turning away further, but we're 4,500 yards out even. For God's sake, that's the first hit we've taken all battle, and it instantly destroys our bridge. 1 7-inch round at 4,900 yards just wipes out the bridge of USS San Francisco. That's fine. Yep, can't turn because we've lost our bridge, but we'll figure it out. I forget if there's like a permanent delay. No. Okay, we've got it back under control. Auxiliary command position coming into play, presumably. Our gunnery is still really bad. I think it's better than theirs, despite that one incredible hit they landed, but really bad. I mean, we're only 5,500 yards out, and we're just every which side of them. Hardly a hit to be had. I shouldn't say that. We are landing a few, but there's one. There's 2. Okay. 3,600 yards. Now we're really starting to hit. And again, they try to turn away. They really are. This has been alarmingly one-sided for the fact that's an armored cruiser and doesn't have that much less firepower than us, but... I mean, those 5-inch guns that she has do really leave something to be desired compared to 6-inch guns. The 7-inch guns are her only real cruiser-killing guns, traditionally speaking. And she's only got 2 of them. Can't tell if she's actually burning or it's just smoke. Probably just smoke, but... Okay, we just lost a turret. One of the good turrets with 2 guns as well. Two hits on that turret as well. We've taken 4 hits. One of them blew up the bridge, and 2 of them blew up a turret. Freya is compensating for never hitting us with incredible accuracy on the shots that do hit us. Oh, we fixed the turret, though. Okay, we're down to less than 50% of our ammo. We really need to land some crippling hits here. But she keeps just, like, dancing around, making it hard for me to get really close-in hits. There we go. Now we're close. Now watch as we get hit by a insanely lucky undersea torpedo. I mean, submerged to launched torpedo, like we have on our cruiser as well, but do they have them, actually? Yeah. 4 of them. We probably only have 2, yeah. It's extremely hard to get a hit with those, but it's been known to happen. We're probably moving too fast for it to realistically happen, though. There we go. She's on fire. Well, she was on fire, but not anymore. I should probably just slow down, but we would start taking hits if we did. Oh, she is still on fire, yeah. I know she's not sunk yet, because generally in these single ship engagements, when the opponent's ship sinks, it just immediately ends the battle. There we go, like that. Okay. That's a definitive victory to start out the war. We have sunk the armored cruiser Prince Heinrich. San Francisco here took exactly 5 hits, albeit one of them managed to blow up her bridge, 2 of them hit a turret. The other 2 didn't do much, but wildly unlucky hits we took there. Fortunately, didn't matter in the end. I'm not actually sure why it was so one-sided. I guess those 5-inch guns that Prince Heinrich had just were not adequate, and she couldn't absorb as much damage, but that and our standard of gunnery just seemed much better. Maybe we just stayed at enough range. I mean, she only had 8 big guns to our 10, and not as good of a caliber mostly. But anyway, we landed 35 hits, most all of them with our 6-inch guns. And pretty well pulverized her. She has -2 crew quality. Oh, I wonder if... Although we have -1, because we've also been out in the Pacific for a while, but I wonder if being out on foreign station for so long really hurt her. Also, 0 of 0. It's like she's theoretically equipped with a central rangefinder, but it's not actually installed. We have central firing that is actually installed, and that's a huge difference maker in terms of accuracy. So, yeah. The reason this was so one-sided is that this is a cruiser that they've just left in the Pacific for years and years to rot without refitting her or swapping her crew out. And she's really gone to hell in that time, but that's a win. And 5 new destroyers, and 2 of our battleships are worked up. Testing tank for hull form. Less engine horsepower requirements. Good. 9-foot rangefinder. Gradual national accuracy improvement. Better compressed air supply. I think that's a much longer torpedo range. Dang. Enemy fleets dominate the seas around Midway. Lose 0 VP because nobody cares about Midway. Yeah. Oh, Michigan and Delaware are short range too. I forgot that's another thing that hamstrings them. Okay, we really need to rush some battleships to the where are the German... Oh my god, the whole German fleet is just headed around South America. They're really going to go for this, like... And they've got 2 battleships. Okay, they have a lot in the Central Pacific now. They can't really support it all there, but they're pouring it in anyway. And they're staging more in the South and Southeast Pacific. So... Or, well, Southeast Asia, Southwest Pacific. We're going to need to immediately send probably this whole fleet that I just sent to the Caribbean is going to need to just chase the Germans to the Central Pacific. Get going. 2 of the Californias are worked up now. I will shift those 2 to the Caribbean, along with our newest commissioned destroyers, which are all working up, but they'll get over it. And maybe, like, I don't know, a cruiser for scouting purposes. It's not a very strong force, except for the battleships, but we're stretched a little thin. I mean, Germany does still have a 100,000 ton advantage on us. As we've just seen, I think we can win 1v1 ship duels, but we're stretched a little thin until we can win some kind of major victory. Good news is we've got a ton of money. So what are we short in? Not that, I mean, battleships most obviously, but I'm not convinced I want to build a battleship with this sort of design. Maybe a battle cruiser even. Weird as that sounds. This is an interesting concept, actually, that the AI has come up with here. A battle cruiser with... Well, it is a battle cruiser. It's just a weird one. It's got 6 12-inch guns. Yeah, our 13-inch guns are really poor quality, so stick with the 12s. It makes 25 knots, which should be enough to hold up for a while. It's got... Can we use coal propulsion? Because if so, I should. We have a lot of coal. Or, I mean, we haven't developed oil firing. Okay. Oil propulsion is what I meant. We have definitely got access to oil. 7-inch belt's really quite thick for a battle cruiser, but, like... Weight is not bad here. Okay, let's see. It's a lot of secondaries, too. I mean, this is an insanely heavy and expensive ship in a certain sense compared to anything we've built previously, but at the same time, like... Ooh, wow, deck is expensive, okay. Well, but what are guns penetrating now? 2 inches of deck is not going to hold up much longer. It's got good range freeboard accommodation. Oh, that's expensive, okay. It's got a pretty thick belt for a battle cruiser. I mean, it's got... Could have thicker deck armor. I don't... Oh. Well, I've managed to get away with secondary turrets on other ships. I don't know why I can't here. Maybe because they're so big. Okay, they have to be casemated. Fine. What if I reduced them to 5-inch guns? Could I fit them in turrets then? Nope. Okay. Also, I could fit it into 18,200 tons, which is a lot, but not that wild. I mean, of course, the glaring flaw is that it only has 6 12-inch guns, which is not going to be enough, like, very soon. But it will certainly wreak havoc on any armored cruiser in existence right now. The only way to fix the weight issue would be to shove a bunch of, I mean, the only way to fix the firepower issue would be to put wing turrets on, which would be madly expensive in terms of weight. And this is a battle cruiser, not a battleship, let's not forget. I think I'm going to build this. It's a little crazy, but it will not probably be a long-lived design, but it will be terribly effective until other people have 8-gun battle cruisers in action. Thanks for watching, sailors. I hope you enjoyed the video. New parts should be up daily, or you can watch live on Twitch. If you did enjoy the video, consider leaving a like or subscribing. This is Sea Lord Janda, signing off.